Attached PDF, red level 1, green level 2, black are the parcel and strata boundaries. The block slopes backwards towards the back. The way I see it regarding the yard space, there are three options. Show the yard space on level 1, because all the boxes around the building are yard spaces. Split the yard space and show some on level 1 and level 2, or show it on level 2 on its own. The answer I gave him, show 3 floor plans. And this is what he'd done. One for the building at level 1, that's it to the left there. One for the building at level 2. And the courtyards, show the courtyards on a separate floor plan, showing any walls that are used to define them, and identify what level that part of the wall's at. So segregate your floor plan into 3 parts. The 2 internal parts of the building, level 1, level 2, and let the floor plan for the courtyards define nothing but the courtyards, and keep it simple. By splitting the courtyards into 2 parts on different floor plans, you're making an imaginary boundary between where they meet, and it just doesn't work. And if you look at the original shape of the building, Lot 2 and 1 ground floor level only take up a little bit of area, so you would have had half the courtyard, just a little snippet down that end, come up the other end, and the other half will be on the next sheet. So it's better to put them all on one, and you can see on the line work there he's got level 1 and level 2 for which part of the building they're from, for these things here, for the walls. And this is the location plan. You don't need dimensions for the location plan because the courtyard boundaries sit flush on the parcel boundary. So this is the draft plan he sent me, and it looks pretty good. It's easier to understand where the actual courtyards exist. Do I need owners corporation consent for a strata plan of consolidation? The answer to that is no, not if it's a true consolidation. This was the original plan up the top. This is the plan that was lodged, consolidating lot 14 and 15 into lot 23. Got hit with a pile of requisitions. The plan's a subdivision, you need owners corporation consent, you need approval form 10 of 11, and you need resolving transfers for the bit of land that was formerly where the wall was. The answer to this is there's 2 options. If the wall's still there, you show lot 23 with the wall in place and a vinculum joining the other part, which used to be the other lot. So lot 23 goes across the wall, but does not include the wall. Or if the wall's been demolished, you put a line, 2 thin lines in the bottom, and remaining, the bit of airspace there remains as common property. But otherwise, you're going to get requisitions for, it's a subdivision, you need all the consents, and you need resolving transfers to resolve ownership of where that wall was. I'm wary of the time here. What if, as I go, you hand that thing out? If anyone's got any questions, we can answer them as we go. Does anyone want to ask any questions? I can end here and take the questions, or there's only about 5 minutes. There's one. How many? We've got 2. We might. We can end there if you like, and I'll answer some questions.
Could you go back to that diagram where you showed the slopey level?
Yeah. I pressed the wrong button there. Sorry. Hang on.
Getting there.
I don't have a mouse. I'm not very good with this thing. That one there?
Yeah, could you just forget about there being 2 lots there? Just assume that was one total lot with no party wall in the middle, but there was a party wall at right angles to that one. So we got a unit at the front and a unit at the back.
Yep.
Now it's a slopey block of land, and the unit at the front has a walk in from the street.
Yep.
The unit at the back.
Yeah, so there's a wall down here, you're saying?
Yes, that's correct. Yep. But we want to make the common property prolongation of that line.
Yeah. Internal wall.
The internal wall.
You can't do that. Correct. You've got to give a connection along the face of the external wall and turn a right angle.
But I'm trying to define the garden areas if you did prolong it through. How would you describe it on the plan?
Well, you can't. You can't use an internal wall. The wall has to be visible from outside in order to be able to prolongate it to create your courtyard boundary. you'd have to go out and give a connection along from another known point on the wall.
Oh well, wherever you put that line, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the prolongation of a wall.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is how to describe that the courtyards from the front and the back. How to describe it in relation to something.
Well,
It's quite
it doesn't matter.
difficult.
It doesn't matter if a wall goes that way. It doesn't matter if it slopes.
It doesn't.
No, you just create it. You just make sure you take into account the depth limitation for your courtyards to go into the ground at the deepest part.
Okay, so at the deepest part, instead of saying 3 metres, you might have to go,
Go
6
down-
or 7.
Yeah, go down
Yeah.
49.99 metres.
Okay, answered.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else got a question up there, I think? Up there, Grant.
Oh, Mark, I just wasn't sure if it was left off for clarification on some of your plans there, but when you're showing your offset connections from the building, I notice that your plans don't show, say for example, line of east face of wall produced or something to that effect. Is that the case now that we don't need to show east face of wall, or is it just obvious from looking at the plan that that's the case, or we still need to show that?
Well, what I would do was, if it was a prolongation of the wall and you're coming off a corner, put a little right angle symbol on where it exits the wall. You can do that, or you can put east face of wall produced or whatever.
Yeah, I just noticed it wasn't on any of those examples.
Oh, no,
you
I
gave, but
drew
I
those
guess
in
you just
PowerPoint.
took that off to make it clearer.
Yeah,
So it's still the case.
Yeah, you've got to identify what that line represents. And if it's a prolongation of the wall, and that's the best way to describe it, you still should do that. A lot of people just put S or E or SE, and that down the bottom, S means south face, SE, southeast face, whatever. Come on, Graham.
Yeah, a bit slow, aren't I?
Need a non-retiree to do this.
My question relates to unit entitlements on mixed-use schemes and whether you've experienced any difficulties in the use of valuations where you've got shops or commercial suites and residential units, and the figure is normally calculated on the value. So has that caused any problems in ongoing administration of those schemes?
Yes. To tell you the truth, when they come in, we don't check the unit entitlement for anything else except adding them up, make sure they equal the total, and all the lots are represented. We register it full stop. If we see something that we think, hang on, that can't possibly be right, like it's got 1, 1, 1, 1, and one's 10 times bigger than the other one, we might question it. But as far as those situations, we register it, and they all come in through the CTTT orders to change them. How many you say one a week come in? One a fortnight come in, and they'd be those cases where they've been applied incorrectly, and there's a cost to change them.
No, I'm talking about the case where they have been applied correctly using valuations, but are there anomalies that exist because of, I guess, a large residential unit might have more maintenance than a small shop, but the shop might be worth more?
Oh yeah, well that's the same with someone with a courtyard. Their value is the same or is less than someone with a penthouse because they've got a view over the harbour, but they've got nothing to maintain up there, and that's the situation as it is now. And so the whole unit entitlement needs to be... One of the suggestions we made was a separate unit entitlement for value and to voting, have two. The other states have 2 unit entitlements. So in this review, we've suggested that as well. I didn't put that on the list, but we can't do anything about it, and I don't see anything that comes through as far as issues with it because it doesn't come through us. So I can't really give you any specific details.
Yes, Mark, my question leads straight on from what they're talking about unit entitlement. I've continually had questions raised in relation to getting a valuation to set the unit entitlement. Say, for example, in that, just the one you've got there, one of the units may have a view over the Sydney Harbour and worth $1 million, and the unit on this side's in the shade on the south side of the building or something, and it's worth $500,000. But it costs exactly the same for your sinking fund to maintain both sides of the building, and the maintenance cost of the common property is exactly the same. So the working group seems to be headed towards getting the unit entitlement based on valuation, but as the other question person mentioned, that's probably the worst way of determining unit entitlement.
Well, it's better than what we've got now. And with the Strata Industry Working Group, we decided that'd be the first thing we'd do, was to do that, and then come and look at all the other possibilities, exactly what you said then. We've discussed all that, and we thought we can't kill everything now, so what we'll do is we'll get one thing in place. Let's make it a fair judgment of the valuation, before, because you can't determine the value of a unit. You know, you can only go on what you sell it for. That's the best you've got. At least by getting a valuer involved, statutorily, it makes it at least a common way of getting. Everyone's doing the same thing, and then we're going to revisit the whole thing. We're looking at, like I said, doing 2 unit entitlements, or there's a myriad of options there for what we can do. It was just we didn't have time to come up with all the possibilities at this point in time, so we went with that one to start with.
Yes, Mark.
There is issues.
The other gentleman said that, talking about mixed-use developments, I actually own a unit in a mixed-use development, and the commercial premises have far greater impact on the common property and maintenance of the common property than the residential component of the building.
Yeah, that's, as you know, we've got to review all this whole unit entitlement issue, and they're all the things. So I guess what we'll do is, when we get to the point, we'll come back through the institution, through Rob and all the institution members on SWIG, and ask for your opinion. We can only ask for opinion from the people on the ground. Like I said, at the moment, all we've done is go with the unit entitlement by a valuer as step one. We just can't kill it all in one hit, that's it.
We don't have any more questions. Just like to thank Mark for his time today and his... So we've now got a lunch break. There's a buffet outside. We've got a 45-minute break for lunch. So if everybody could aim to be here at 1:15, all seated and ready to go. Thank you.